Our next guest is the head coach of San Diego State football. Rocky Long returns to the show on San Diego Sports Leader XX 1090. Coach, it's great to speak with you. How's the offseason going?
Well, it's going just fine right now. It's good to speak to you. That means football season must be getting closer.
You got it.
I can't wait. I think we're going to make that trip to Seattle for the opener against Washington. Got to ask you, before we look ahead, Ryan Lindley, he goes to the Cardinals. Ronnie's off to Denver. Miles Burris in Oakland. The list goes on. You think you're going to be watching a lot of NFL on Sundays?
I would like to, but I won't be because, as always, we're getting ready for the next game. Well, if they do well, we'll hear about it.
Coach, what about the number of guys on your roster right now, in your program right now? How many of them do you have? Are you planning on staying over the summer? I always feel like that's where a team can really make some leeway, staying on campus, working out together during the summer, getting ready for the season.
Well, they're all here.
Really? You got all your kids staying?
Oh, sure. Now, the only ones we don't have here are new freshmen that are coming in. Most of them didn't graduate until June, but most of them will be here July the 9th when the second session of summer school starts. That's for two reasons, to get them started academically as well as get them here to work out.
Coach, I'm sorry, Coach, how do you set that up? That's a lot of players. Do you have them in the regular dorms? Do you put them in frat houses? How do you handle that?
No, they're on their own. They find a place to live.
Okay.
Some of them go to summer school, and some of them work, and then they work around their schedules to work out when they can. And now sometimes they meet early in the morning so they can all be there together.
That's impressive.
Aztecs getting ready for a new season. Coach Rocky Long is joining us. And, Coach, of course, we all say it's sad to see Ryan Lindley go, but he had a great 4 years. Now a new Ryan Katz from Oregon State. And I remember watching this guy. He looked great. What kind of leader is he? What kind of teammate is he? What have you learned so far?
Well, I think he's still feeling his way a little bit, but I know he's an awful good player, and good players get respect right off the bat. And I think Adam Dingwell and Ryan Katz are battling like crazy, which the competition adds to, how intense they are, and that provides leadership for the other guys. If the quarterback's intense, so are they.
Well, at what point do you like to name a starter, if in fact you're going to name a starter?
As early as possible. I mean, we let them battle it out in the spring. We'll let them battle it out a little bit early season in the fall, but we'll name one pretty quick.
Coach, you talked about the quarterbacks and the wide receiver core as well last year. Had some injuries, had some youth, had some guys switching sides of the ball. The wide receiver core this year with Bryce Butler transferring from USC. Then you also have Colin Lockett, who's getting a lot of preseason notoriety. How do you feel about your wide receiver core moving forward?
Well, last year I thought going in the season it was a weakness because, like you said, we moved Colin Lockett over from DB, and Dylan Denzo was kind of there apparent. We had a lot of injuries, a lot of young guys that were hurt, and this year I think it's one of the strengths. Like you said, Bryce Butler's in the fold. Colin Lockett is now an established wide receiver. Dylan Denzo's the guy that you can always count on, and then our young guys that we counted on last year that didn't play, they're healthy and ready to go. So I think it's one of the strengths of the team.
Can you tell us the backstory of a Bryce Butler? Do you keep this guy in mind for a few years? Does he just arrive on your doorstep? How does it come to the surface that Bryce Butler is all of a sudden on your team?
Well, Bryce was highly recruited, but I think that Coach McDaniels on our staff knew his father or played with his father in the NFL and recruited him hard when he was coming out of high school. Now, he chose USC, and he went to USC, and as things were going and they recruited some other guys, he wasn't getting as much playing time as he wanted, so he decided to transfer, and I think that he contacted Coach McDaniels, or the dad contacted Coach McDaniels, and about the possibility of him coming here. And once he got his release from USC, we recruited him, and he decided to come.
I love it. I know a lot of Aztecs fans can't wait to see Bryce Butler and the new look Aztecs. Head coach Rocky Long is joining us. And, Coach, last year you had a premier running back. Ronnie Hillman, he could carry that ball 25, 30 times a game. Is your vision to have a clear-cut first-string featured running back, or do you think it'll be more of a collective effort this year?
Well, I really believe that the running back position is one of our strengths. Now, I don't think we have a Ronnie Hillman in the fold, but I think we have 3 or 4, maybe even 5 quality running backs. And obviously we'll play more than one. Walter Casey is back. Adam Wemma, some people saw last year in spot duty and saw that he had some ability. And then we have some freshmen ready to go. I think we're going to get the same production out of that running back spot that we did last year. It just won't be one guy. It'll be 3 or 4 guys.
Not bad at all, Coach. I also reading how you got the junior college transfer out of El Camino Community College, 6'4", 235. The kid Derek Largent out playing outside linebacker. Can you tell us anything about him right now? Are we looking for some pretty good things from this kid?
Well, you are. I mean, every time you recruit someone, you are. And we recruited a junior college guy because we wanted a little more experience and a guy that maybe could play right away. And so he adds depth right away. Now, we haven't actually seen him play against our guys. He won't be here until the second session of summer school, too. When he gets here, we'll know a lot more than we know now. He was an awful good junior college player, though.
Aztecs open up the season September the 1st up in Seattle against Washington. Coach, it's been a big week in the college football world, and I know a lot of coaches are being quoted on ESPN, but just wanted to get your response to the new BCS 14 playoff structure.
I don't know. It's a move in the right direction, but I think it's just to appease the public. I think the public is crying for a playoff system, and this is a way for the boys that are in charge right now to keep control of everything. You know, it's going to be some kind of committee. It'll be interesting to see who's on that committee. It'll all be former. I guess we're not BCS anymore. That's no longer the case, but it's still there. I mean, it's still there, and to have everybody have a right to a chance to play for a national championship, it hadn't done anything different. It just named 4 teams so they could have a championship game and make a little bit more money and keep things as status quo. That's my opinion.
Coach, I love talking to you only because there's no sensationalism in you. You know, you give what you say, you say what you mean, whether it's, sensational or not, you just give it the way you really think, and I really do respect that and appreciate that. And I'm looking here where USA Today has you guys picked second in the Mountain West Conference, and I imagine for a coach like you have to make sure your young guys are looking at these clippings and getting too excited before the season even starts.
Yeah, for every good one, you can get a bad one. I tell you, the USA Today picked us second or something, but a couple of those other polls we're 4th or 5th. So our guys know that they don't know what we have, and I kind of like that. I mean, I don't think anybody out there knows what we have. I think we're going to have a good football team, but like you said, all those guys we lost to the pros and all that experience and the explosive power of Ronnie Hillman, that's gone. So nobody really knows how good we can be.
Do you know?
Do I know how good we can be?
Yeah.
I know our potential, that we can be a good team, but we got to have some young guys play well. I'm expecting a good year.
Because I remember when you first got here, I asked you, what are you excited about? You said, I don't know yet. And I said, who's the leader of the D? You said, I don't know yet. Do you feel like you're very established now at this point where you have a grasp on how this program functions?
Yeah, I think it's still going in the right direction. I think we're miles ahead of where we were 4 years ago when Brady first got here. But I think we're moving in the right direction. I think the players have bought into the system of playing hard and playing tough no matter who we play, and I think that allows us to compete with everybody we do play.
Coach, a few quick ones. When we see the non-conference schedule comes out, we see Washington, Army, North Dakota, San Jose State. We like it, but I wonder, do you have a voice when it comes to that, or is that more Jim Sturck and, the presidents and ADs putting together the schedules?
Well, some of that was already established. You do that sometimes 5, 6, 7 years out. But no, they check with me every time. They ask what I think. I don't know if it makes a difference what I think, but they ask what I think. And I've loved playing people like Washington. I think Army's a great rivalry deal for the people here in town, and they run the wishbone, which makes it tough. But I think as we go into the Big East and all that, I think that we're going to have more supposedly top caliber teams on that preseason schedule.
Coach, I love hearing you talk about Army and how running the wishbone, how it's really, really tough. I've heard you say before where if that offense is run properly, it's probably the most unstoppable offense to run up against, except that no one in the pros is going to run it because it doesn't sell tickets. Is that true?
I think that's true. I was in there right now breaking down Army from last year, everybody they played. I still think that's the best offense ever designed because you don't have to block everybody. You can eliminate players without blocking them. So I think it's the toughest one to stop, but the teams that run them are the academies because those guys have more important things to do than go to the NFL.
Right. Hey, Coach, before you go, take us behind the scenes with recruiting. Do you think, if you just had to guess, going to the Big East will completely change recruiting, the caliber of athlete you could get, or do you think it really will just remain the same?
No, I think it's going to make a big difference, but I don't think it has yet because everybody's not sure if we're going or not. I think we're pretty sure. We're excited about it, but there's still speculation out there, and we got one more year in the Mountain West, so it hadn't made a difference yet. As soon as we start playing in that league, I think it'll make a big difference.
I got you, and I hope you're right. I think you're right. Coach, it's great to have you on the show. We wish you the best this offseason.
I appreciate you guys having me. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Coach.